guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to another video. I am just so amazed at how fast this calendar year is going. February was here and gone like a blink of an eye, and we are officially moving forward to the month of March, and that means it is time to sit down and really think about my March TBR, and I've curated a list of books that I'm really excited to get through for the month of March, and yeah, let's jump into today's video. The first book on my TBR is the one that my book club actually picked for our book of the month, which is Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. This is a historical fiction story that is based on true events that occurred during the United States in the 1930s and 40s. And basically we are following these two siblings that are separated from their parents and become part of the orphan train. So that basically means that they get kidnapped and taken away from their families and then sold as adopted kids to these very wealthy families across the nation. So we are hearing about this story in the 1930s as these two siblings basically go through the adoption process and the orphan train, and then we are planted into the present day. So I think this book is going to be really sad. I think it's really going to pull at my heartstrings. This book is one of the Goodreads Choice Award winners from I believe 2017. So it's been out for quite some time, but don't let that deter you from picking up a good book. Just because it was published a couple years ago doesn't really mean anything. It still means that it could be really amazing. So this book isn't very long. It's like 340 pages. The print is a little bit small though, I will say. But this is the first book on my TBR. Moving on and kind of staying within the historical fiction vein of things, we are going to go to Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This is a modern adaptation of William Shakespeare's Hamlet. So it is historical fiction, kind of takes place during the Black Plague in England, and we are kind of following a family that has a lot of trouble and turmoil that kind of comes up to them throughout the Black Plague. So I haven't really seen too many people review this on BookTube or given their opinions on this, so I'm really interested to see what my thoughts and opinions are going to be on Hamnet. I really do love historical fiction, and I really feel like I've gotten away from that over the last couple months. I've delved into a lot of thrillers lately and just general fiction and fantasy, so I really want to get back to some more historical fiction for the month of March. So I think this is going to be a really good one to add to the list. It's not very long, as you can see. It is a little under 300 pages. Wow. Yeah, I think this will be a really good one to add considering that my March is a little bit busier for my day job. So really looking forward to getting through this and kind of seeing if I like Maggie O'Farrell's writing. She's written a couple other books that I'd be interested to read if I end up liking this one a lot. Moving on, we are going to go to 30 Days in Paris by Veronica Henry. I've read another book by Veronica Henry at the beginning of January, which was How to Find Love in a Bookshop, and I didn't really like it. But I really want to give this one a try. The book cover is so stinking cute. I love the Eiffel Tower and all the gold calligraphy. It is just so stunning to me. This pink is very vibrant. So in this story, we're following Juliet, and she is an empty nester at this point, and I believe she's also separated from her husband. So she ends up going back to Paris where she had a previous life, and it seems like she is hiding a secret from the past that has taken place in Paris. So she takes up residence there again and kind of embraces all that the city has to offer with the hopes of finding herself again. I think that's really beautiful. I think this is going to be more around our main character Juliet and kind of how she changes with this new season of life and how Paris can kind of heal her. That's how I'm interpreting this book is going to go. I don't know how much of a romance subplot there could be. Based upon the coloring, I do get the inkling that there could be romance thrown throughout here, but based upon the description on the back, it doesn't really give me any insights into whether or not this is a pure romance. But I think it's going to have elements of romance throughout, so very excited to get through 30 Days in Paris. Moving on to our fourth book. This is Ready or Not by Kara Bastian. So this is actually a new release from this year, you guys. I think this came out in either January or February of this year, and this sounds so amazing. This is a contemporary romance novel that takes place in New York City. We're following our main character Eve, and Eve accidentally gets knocked up from a one-night stand, and she becomes friends with this guy. I believe his name is Willa. Oh no, it's actually his name's Shep. Oh, I love that. Shep, like shepherd. Oh, that's so cute. So Eve and Shep kind of form this friendship, and they basically, Shep is there for Eve as she's going through this unplanned pregnancy, and they form this really good friendship. So this is going to be a classic friends to lovers story. I'm anticipating a really good slow burn here. I really think that this is going to be a romance book that I'm going to think about for many times to come, just because the plot is so unique. Normally you don't hear stories about somebody going through a unplanned pregnancy and then coming out with a love story at the end. There's something kind of similar to this in How to Be Single, if you've seen that movie. So maybe that movie ended up giving the author some insights into writing the story. So really excited to read through this. I'm actually going to read this with one of my best friends at the same time. We're going to have our own little mini book club, if you will. And yeah, will be a really good one to kind of add to my plate for the month of March. So if we move on to book number 5. Number 5, I think is going to get some really good reactions from you guys. There's a lot of thriller lovers out there. We're going with The Last Word by Taylor Adams. Holy cow, you guys. I've already read probably about 50 pages of this, so this might be the first book that I finished for the month of March, and it is so creepy. Basically, okay, so let me back up here and kind of give you like the overall storyline of this book. So we're following our main character, and she is living alone, kind of like house sitting in this very remote area with her dog, and she is reading all of these books and whatnot, and happens to read through a book that was recommended to her, which was a horror novel. She reads it, doesn't like it, gives it a 1 star, and then the author just like comes at her like so hard, you guys. And he ends up like stalking her and finding out where she is, and kind of getting into like some fights with her on like social media. So this book, I have seen some really high ratings for it for a thriller, which is super interesting because normally thrillers kind of are hit or miss. But I've seen quite a few of you guys give this like 5 stars on Goodreads. So I am like really anticipating that this one is going to be a page turner. This has a lot of creepy elements to it. Like I said, I'm like 50-ish pages in, so I'm like not that far into the book. I want to say it's like a little over like 300 pages. Yeah, it's like 320, 340 pages. It's really interesting because there's like police reports and stuff that are included throughout, because she's starting to like report things of this like stalker author person like coming to her place. And yeah, this is going to be really scary, but I think it's also going to be a good breakup to some of the other books that I picked. We have historical fiction and some romance, so I wanted to throw a thriller in the mix that was a little bit more creepy, so that way I could kind of get some variety in the books that I'm reading for the month of March. I'm actually only going to do 6 books as part of my TBR for the month of March, just because I'm a little bit busier than normal, but I think we have a really good selection to go off of, and I really want to round this out with another thriller, which is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This book came out a couple of years ago, but like I said before, like don't let that deter you from picking up a really good book. Also, this is from the library, just like The Last Word. You probably noticed that one was a little bit shiny. I love the library. It's a really great way to get free books and resources, especially if there's a book that you're curious about reading but don't really want to invest the money into. Definitely use your library if you have the chance. So getting back to Dark Matter, this is a sci-fi thriller, which I have not read before, but heard really good things about this book. It came out, I believe, in like 2017 is when it was published. Sounds right to me. And yeah, so this is following our main character. He is a science guy, a physics guy, and he ends up getting kidnapped and becomes unconscious. When he wakes up, he doesn't know what happened to his family. It's like his family never existed. This is like it kind of like a Born Ultimatum kind of thing. If you've seen that movie, is kind of how I was thinking through it when I was reading through the back. And so he's trying to figure out now, like, what happened to his family, where is his son, where is his wife, what happened to his previous life. So yeah, I've definitely seen some really high ratings for this thriller as well. I really enjoy the sci-fi aspect of this. I think that'll be really interesting to kind of dive into this subgenre of thriller to see if this is something that I could really see myself reading more of. And so yeah, this rounds out our March TBR. Alright, you guys, so we have a total of 6 books here. We have a couple of historical fiction, a couple of romance, contemporary romance novels, and as well as a couple of thrillers. I've only done 6 books for this month, with it just being a little bit busier for me, but I think these are going to be really great books to get through. I'm really curious to see if you guys have read any of these. I want to hear if you have any thoughts or reviews on these. Comment down below if there are any of these that you would really like to see a vlog of me do. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!